Liv Morgan's recent incident on WWE Monday Night Raw has quickly become one of the most controversial moments of the year, not because of the in-ring action, but because of how poorly it was handled by WWE management and production. What should have been the biggest night of her career, a showcase of her growth, athleticism, and charisma, was overshadowed by a completely preventable wardrobe failure that left her humiliated on live television. This wasn't just an accident, it was a failure of responsibility, accountability, and respect. The fallout raises urgent questions about WWE's treatment of performers, especially its women's division. The Liv Morgan incident. Why WWE's handling sparks. Outrage professional wrestling thrives on spectacle, emotion, and unforgettable moments. But sometimes what unfolds in the ring is remembered not for athletic brilliance, but for mishandling behind the scenes. The incident involving Liv Morgan on Monday Night Raw is one of those cases. What should have been a career-defining performance spiraled into a humiliating and preventable ordeal. The way WWE management and production responded has sparked a firestorm of controversy, and it forces us to ask serious questions about how women are treated in professional wrestling today. The stage was set for greatness. Monday Night Raw that evening was billed as a pivotal show. For Liv Morgan, this wasn't just another match. It was an opportunity to cement her position as a legitimate contender for championship gold. After months of grueling storylines, physical battles, and fan anticipation, her #1 contenders match was supposed to highlight her growth as both an athlete and a performer. The energy in the arena was palpable. Fans cheered as her entrance music hit, lights flashed, and Liv stepped onto the stage radiating confidence. She wore a custom-designed outfit, an investment both financially and symbolically. The attire represented her evolution from scrappy underdog to a polished star ready for the main event spotlight. Reports suggest that the outfit cost thousands of dollars and was carefully crafted for this exact occasion. Yet even before the cameras rolled, backstage whispers warned of potential problems. Assistants had reportedly voiced concerns about the durability of the gear, only for those worries to be dismissed in favor of aesthetic appeal. A match turning heads. For the first 10 minutes, Liv Morgan was putting on one of the finest performances of her career. Her mix of high-flying agility, technical precision, and infectious charisma had fans fully engaged. Every near fall drew gasps. Every reversal sparked cheers. It was the type of match that reminds audiences why they invest emotionally in wrestling. The blend of athleticism and storytelling unfolding in real time. This wasn't just another night. It was the night Liv Morgan showed she could hang at the very top of WWE's women's division. The catastrophic wardrobe failure. Roughly 12 minutes into the match, during a sequence that required leverage against the ropes, her gear gave way in a catastrophic failure. In an instant, Liv Morgan went from commanding the ring to fighting through one of the most humiliating experiences of her career. Wardrobe malfunctions are not new to live entertainment, but what followed turned this mishap into something far worse. Rather than immediately cutting away or going to commercial, WWE's production team lingered on the moment. The cameras captured her shock, her attempts to recover, and most painfully, the exact second when realization hit. For a performer who has poured heart and soul into her career, this was nothing short of devastating. Liv, demonstrating extraordinary professionalism, attempted to continue the match while trying discreetly to address the issue. But the emotional damage was clear. The audience watched as her confidence, built over years of sacrifice, visibly cracked in real time. WWE's mishandling in real time. Here lies the most infuriating aspect of the controversy. Production teams are trained to respond instantly to protect performers from such situations. A quick camera cut, a sudden commercial break, or even a switch to a wide crowd shot would have spared Liv Morgan unnecessary humiliation. Instead, the decision, or indecision, to continue filming only magnified the problem. This failure revealed not just a technical oversight, but a deeper lack of respect for the performers in the ring. For a company that prides itself on being a global entertainment leader, WWE's handling of this moment showcased negligence at the highest level. WWE's damage control. If the in-ring mishandling was troubling, the company's response afterward was even more disturbing. Social media teams worked frantically to scrub fan footage and clips from platforms. Official highlights from the match carefully avoided the incident, while an official corporate statement was released less than 2 hours after Raw went off the air. The statement chalked up the situation to an equipment malfunction and praised all parties for handling it professionally. But fans weren't buying it. The statement not only failed to acknowledge WWE's role in ignoring prior warnings, but also subtly shifted blame onto Liv herself, as though her choice of gear was solely responsible. For many, this read less like damage control and more like character assassination. The night that should have been hers. The setup for Raw that night could not have been more important for Liv Morgan. She was positioned in a high-stakes match to determine the #1 contender for the Women's Championship. The energy in the arena was electric, with fans fully behind her. Her entrance drew cheers, her confidence was visible, and she wore a custom outfit designed to represent her evolution as a performer, an outfit meant to mark her as a serious contender on the biggest stage. Reports indicate that even before the show started, there were concerns raised backstage about whether her gear was secure enough. Assistants allegedly voiced these concerns, but those red flags were dismissed. Instead, the priority was how visually striking the outfit looked on camera. That decision cost Liv dearly, and it transformed what should have been her shining moment into one of the most humiliating experiences of her career. The match that showcased her talent for over 10 minutes, Liv Morgan put on a performance that reminded everyone why she is one of WWE's most promising stars. Her athleticism, charisma, and technical ability were on full display. Every move she executed, every counter she pulled off, brought the crowd deeper into the match. This was supposed to be the kind of performance that fans and management look back on as a turning point in her career. Then, just as she was winning over even her harshest critics, disaster struck. During a high-impact sequence involving the ropes, her outfit failed in a way that should never have been possible if WWE had listened to concerns earlier. What followed was not just a wardrobe malfunction, it was a moment that exposed deep flaws in WWE's responsibility toward its performers. The camera stayed too long. Wardrobe malfunctions happen in live entertainment, but how they are handled makes all the difference. In this case, WWE's production team had opportunities to protect Liv Morgan from unnecessary humiliation. They could have cut to a wide shot, panned to the audience, or gone to commercial immediately. Instead, the cameras lingered. Viewers saw her shock, her embarrassment, and the exact moment she realized what had happened. It was painful not just for Liv, but for anyone watching who understands the vulnerability of performers in those situations. The role of production should always be to protect the integrity and dignity of the people in the ring, and on that night, WWE failed completely. Why this matters for women's wrestling. This incident is bigger than Liv Morgan. For years, WWE has marketed its Women's Evolution, a campaign designed to show that female wrestlers are no longer side attractions, but legitimate athletes worthy of main events. Women have headlined WrestleMania, competed in Hell in a Cell matches, and proven time and again that they can deliver on the biggest stage. But moments like this threaten to undo that progress. If female performers cannot trust that their safety will be prioritized, how can they perform with confidence? How can fans believe in WWE's commitment to equality if women are left vulnerable to humiliation while the company hides behind excuses? The message this sends to both performers and fans is dangerous. Appearance matters more than safety, and if something goes wrong, don't expect accountability. The role of fans. The wrestling fan base also has a responsibility. Some so-called fans have been sharing and joking about the incident, turning Liv Morgan's worst professional nightmare into viral entertainment. This behavior is disgraceful. Real fans don't exploit a performer's humiliation, they demand better treatment, Fans have power through their voices, their wallets, and their online presence. If the community shrugs off this incident, it tells WWE and other promotions that negligence is acceptable. If, instead, fans demand accountability, pressure companies to implement better safety measures, and show support for performers like Liv, then change can happen. The industry listens when fans are loud enough. Why fans should care. This isn't just about one botched moment on Raw. It's about how an entertainment giant treats the people who make its success possible. Liv Morgan is more than a performer. She's a human being who has sacrificed for her craft, endured injuries, and earned her place in the spotlight. To see her let down so completely is a reminder of the imbalance between corporate priorities and performer well-being. Fans who invest emotionally and financially in WWE have a right to demand accountability. By refusing to acknowledge the gravity of this situation, WWE risks alienating its audience and damaging the credibility of its women's division. Final thoughts. The Liv Morgan incident should never have happened. It was preventable, foreseeable, and mishandled at every stage. From the ignored warnings backstage to the indecision in production, to the corporate spin after the fact. What should have been the proudest moment of Liv Morgan's career became a nightmare broadcast to millions. This controversy is not just about one performer's humiliation, it's about a company's responsibility to protect its talent, uphold its promises, and respect the very people who make wrestling possible. Until WWE acknowledges its failure and takes concrete steps to ensure it never happens again, the outrage will remain justified. Liv Morgan deserved better. Every woman in wrestling deserves better, and every fan who believes in the progress of women's wrestling should demand better.